Well, that was all very comfortable in the end, Stuart. Ipswich Town 3, Burton Albion 0. Started with a flash. Caden Jackson inside a minute. 10-15 minutes of torrential rain and a storm to weather on the pitch. But after that, it's quite a good day for Ipswich Town, wasn't it? Thoroughly enjoyed that one.
Yeah, an entertaining game that ultimately ended in a comfortable victory for Ipswich Town. As you say, there was that little period, sort of 20-minute spell during the first half where, as you say, that the heavens opened, it was wet. Burton play the way Burton do. They put the ball on top of you, they press high, they try and play in your half, they swamp you, and they play off set pieces and long throws. And you just wondered whether the tide might turn back in their favour, but Ipswich weathered it. Really should have scored a second before half time. Piggott hits the post, Wolfenden has one disallowed. Really good counter-attacking chance in stoppage time, but the weather calmed down and Ipswich controlled the game in the second half, and 3-0 could have been more. Yeah,
we could be here talking 5 or 6, couldn't we? I think that the goal in the first minute really was brilliant for Ipswich, because it meant that for all that Burton pressure, they were chasing an equaliser rather than any kind of nerves in the stadium. It just set the tone. Caden said after the game that McKenna sent the players out and just said, everything you do, the first thing that you do, your first run, be positive, your first shot, be positive, your first tackle, be positive. And Caden said, I'm not really sure I should be shooting on my left foot from outside the box, but I was being positive. That's what my manager asked me to do, and it set the tone really nicely, didn't it?
It did indeed, yeah. And Caden Jackson has left the field to a standing ovation today when he got substituted towards the end. Not only did he get that goal, he provided the assists for both the others. Could have had a third assist,
yeah.
Sam Morsey, if Sam Morsey had taken a chance. What a turnaround in that man's career. I think he would have been top of the list of people that you thought were going to be out the door in January. But here he is, 2 successive starts, and really took it today. Bit of a different role to the one against MK Dons last week, where he was the central striker. Today he played more off the left side of a front three, but yeah, McKenna said afterwards that he's not part of an important part of the plans this season, but you know, someone that he sees as part of the long-term project here as well. So big turnaround.
Yeah, Caden was saying he's kind of felt in the last 3 transfer windows that he would probably leave, and he ultimately hasn't. And like Luke Wolfenden, he's a player that McKenna's got his hands on and has found a role for. He kind of played in the role we've seen Norwood play a couple of times, isn't it? Like a tucked-in left-sided striker, as you say. But that really, I think, again, really suited the game today, because you mentioned Burton looking to kind of push up and swamp you. That leaves gaps.
Yeah.
Leaves gaps in behind. That's what that does, and Ipswich punished them.
Very different to, we've seen teams come here and park men behind the ball, and Ipswich get frustrated. Burton, complete opposite today. They left a lot of gaps to exploit, and Jackson's pace and running of the channels, clever movement, helped exploit that. Yeah, McKenna always felt that their intensity would drop after the first half, and that would create gaps, and if Ipswich were clinical, they would finish them off, and that's ultimately what happened. So big win today, 7 wins, 1 draw, 2 defeats under Kieran McKenna. The gap has closed to 4 points, because Wycombe drew 5-5 against Cheltenham today, 5-5, and Cheltenham are the visitors to Portman Road on Tuesday night. Back-to-back home games. We've got momentum now, haven't we?
I think it's officially momentum. Yeah. I think the gap was 10. I want to say, to the playoffs when McKenna took over. So they've more than halved it. And the momentum is there. That's going to be interesting on Tuesday. Cheltenham bringing a 5-goal forward line, but also a 5-goal back line with them. An Ipswich team that keep clean sheets left, right and centre. And
four in a row clean sheets, 7 in 10 under McKenna. That gives a real foundation for Ipswich Town to keep this train rolling, hopefully. So be fascinating to see who he picks. Selection-wise, no one was predicting Piggott and Jackson to start together today. Piggott, for my money, I thought had a really decent game as well up front. Was part of a team that defended from the front, held it up back to goal as well. So yes, we will see you on Tuesday night for Ipswich versus Cheltenham.